Hey guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty big things to go over for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. We're going to be going over all of the updated returning Pokemon in the DLC for the Generation 9 games. This has all been data mined from the latest update patch, version 1.3.0 for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so it's all pretty legit. So a lot of stuff to break down. If you're excited for the video though, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, just a quick backstory on how this information has come to light. So this was tweeted out by Matt, who of course is one of the main data miners in the community. We just got the update patch of version 1.3.0 for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and in that update patch, it has of course been data mined, and these are the new updated DLC returning Pokemon in the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc. We don't know which one's which, like which Pokemon are coming in which, but these are all of the returning Pokemon as of right now. So this was Matt tweeting out saying, in Scarlet and Violet version 1.3.0, Game Freak have deleted even more Pokedex entries. So when a Pokemon Pokedex entry gets deleted, it means that it is very, very likely to be returning in the DLC. So in addition to all of the entries from my last tweet, the following have been removed. So this is the list of all returning Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. So we have the Bulbasaur line, we have the Charmander line, and we have the Squirtle line. So obviously Charmander's already in the game anyway, but Bulbasaur and Squirtle are going to be returning either in the Teal Mask or the Indigo Disc. It might be a situation similar to the Isle of Armor where Honey gifted it as one of them, and it might just be a similar situation where a certain character gifts us either a Bulbasaur or a Squirtle or even a Charmander as well, who knows. But yeah, the Kanto starters are going to be returning. This is in National Dex order as well, so it goes through Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, yada yada yada. So after that, Ekans and Arbok are going to be returning. Again, we got kind of models of those ages ago. It was like this presentation showing models for Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, and obviously Ekans and Arbok didn't return in Legends Arceus, so it was always very likely that Ekans was going to return in Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, they have been confirmed, well, I guess leaked data mined to be returning in the DLC. Sandshrew and Sandslash are returning. I feel like those are going to be version exclusive because they usually are when it comes to Pokemon games. Pretty sure they were version exclusives in Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't know, my memory's a little bit clouded on like 15 odd years ago, but either way. Clefairy and Clefable are making a return. Makes sense, Jigglypuff's in the game, they're kind of counterparts. Vulpix and Ninetales are returning, which I'm very, very happy about. Ninetales I absolutely love. I feel like it was a little bit unfortunate that it wasn't in the game. And then Oddish, Gloom, and Vileplume are making a return, but no Bellsprout, which is interesting because those are kind of counterparts. Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath. Never mind, Bellsprout is right there. I thought it was up further in the Pokedex, but never mind. So yeah, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath are going to be in the Pokedex, as well as Bellsprout, Weepinbell, and Victreebel. I was going to say, it'd be a bit weird if Oddish was in, but Bellsprout wasn't, because again, it's very much a counterpart, kind of like version exclusive thing. Next up, Tentacool and Tentacruel, which again is quite interesting. They're not already in the game, seeing as we got Toadschool and Toadscruel, which are convergent species of this line. Geodude, Graveler, and Golem are going to be returning in the DLC. Again, we don't know if it's going to be the Teal Mask or the Indigo Disc. We just know that these Pokemon are going to be back. Doduo and Dodrio are making a return. Seal and Dugong are making a return. Execute and Executor. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Coughing and Wheezing. Rhyhorn and Rhydon. Horsey and Seadra. Electabuzz is making a return. Magmar, Lapras, Porygon, Snorlax. I mean, Snorlax is a massive mon, so I'm very surprised it wasn't already in the game. And those are all of the returning Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet DLC for Kanto. Note that the legendary birds aren't here and Mewtwo and stuff. Those are coming back in Pokemon Home. And I feel like they're just going to do something similar to Dynamax Adventures in either the Teal Mask or the Indigo Disc anyway, which allows you to catch all of the legendary Pokemon. They usually do something like that. In Generation 6 in Auraz, we obviously had the wormhole things. In Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, we had the wormholes. In Generation 8, we had Dynamax Adventures. So in Generation 9, it's very likely to get something similar. What is interesting is there's no Alakazam and there's no Machamp. And those are massive Generation 1 Pokemon. And they are apparently not going to be in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, which I am very, very surprised at, but either way. Moving on to Generation 2 though, Chikorita, Bayleaf, Meganium, Cyndaquil, Quilava, Typhlosion, Totodile, Croconaw, and Feraligatr all make their way into the DLC. Of course, Cyndaquil already being in the game thanks to a 7-star raid, but the Generation 2 Pokemon Chikorita and Totodile starters are also going to be in the DLC. For me, I feel like they'll do half the starters in the Teal Mask and the other half in the Indigo Disc. I think that'd be the best way to do it. So maybe like Gen 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Teal Mask and then Gen 5, 6, 7, 8 in the Indigo Disc or something similar to that. We then have Sentret and Furret. Hoothoot and Noctowl, Spinarak and Ariados, Chinchou, Lantern, Cleffa, Blossom, Politoed. Again, would be very obvious that these are returning since their evolution lines are, like the Poliwag line returning, the Oddish line returning, obviously Blossom and Politoed are going to return. Apom's returning, which obviously means that Ambipom 1, Ambipom Whirl and stuff, like all the evolutions are obviously going to be back as well. Yanma's back, Wooper and Quagsire, but they're already in the game, the Jotonian versions. Gligar's going to be in the game, Snubbull and Granbull. We've got Slugma and Macargo. We have Swinub, Pillow-Swine, Skarmory, which again, a lot of people forget that is actually Gen 2, even though it very much feels like a Generation 3 Pokemon, but Skarmory is actually a Generation 2 Pokemon. Kingdra because the Horsey line's back, Porygon 2 because the Porygon line's back, Smeargle is back, Tyrogue, Hitmontop, should I say, all of the babies, Elekid, Magby, and those are all of the Generation 2 Pokemon. Again, no legendaries because they're probably going to do something similar to the Dynamax Adventures, and again, they wouldn't have, they probably just won't have Pokedex entries in the game. And then that's all Generation 2. Moving on to Generation 3, we have Trico, Grovyle, Sceptile, Torchic, Combuskin, Blaziken, Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert, all returning in the DLC. Poochyena and Mightyena, Lotad, Lombre, and Ludicolo, Seedot, Nuzleaf, and Shiftry. It'd be absolute daylight robbery if you had one of these lines and not the other, because Lotad and Seedot just go hand in hand, version exclusives, whatever. Nosepass is also back, Plusle and Minun, Volbeat and Illumise, Trapinch, Vibrava, and Flygon make a return, Corphish and Crawdaunt, Feebas and Milotic. Very happy Milotic returns. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use in competitive. Duskull and Dusclops makes a return. Chimecho makes a return. Beldum, Metang, and Metagross, of course. All the pseudo-legendaries probably will be back in the game. And that's all of the Generation 3 Pokemon. Again, I won't go over the legendaries and yada yada yada. Moving on to Gen 4, we have Turtwig, Grotle, Torterra, Chimchar, Monferno, Infernape, Piplup, Prinplup, and Empoleon, all making a return in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. Again, we don't know which one, but they are going to make a return. Cranidos, Rampardos, Shieldon, and Bastiodon seem to be the only returning fossil Pokemon so far in the Scarlet and Violet DLC, which is very interesting because we don't have any fossils in the game yet. The Kabutops line, the Omastar line, Aerodactyl, the Generation 3 fossils, like none of them are in the game, so it's interesting that only like one fossil line are in the game, or two fossil lines, I guess. So yeah, Cranidos and Shieldon lines, Ambipom in the game, Chingling, Munchlax, Rhyperior, Electivire, Magmortar, Yanmega, Gliscor, Mamoswine, Porygon Z. Again, these are all just the evolutions, so obviously they're going to be in the game. Probopass, Dusknoir, and then those are all the Generation 4 Pokemon. Moving on to Gen 5. Now, in the last update, these Generation 5 Pokemon were not in the game, the starters. It was just Oshawott, but now it has since been updated, so it's very, very likely that every single starter Pokemon is going to be available in the games, which is really, really cool. So yeah, Snivy, Savine, and Serperior finally make their way onto the Switch, because obviously these two starter lines haven't been on the Switch yet. A lot of Pokemon... Well, I say a lot. A small minority of Pokemon have not been on the game yet, or on the Switch. And I think after this update, after this DLC, I think the only Pokemon that haven't been on the game yet, on the Switch, is Furfrou. And I think there might be one more as well. It might be Watchog. But yeah, apart from that, like, everything else is going to have been on the Switch. Because obviously Zebstrika's in the DLC, I think Minior's in the DLC, and these starters are as well. Oh, and the Elemental Monkeys as well. They also haven't been on the Switch yet, which is a bit unfortunate. I know not many people like them. I'm a massive fan of Simisage, but anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, all the Gen 5 starters up to Samurott. Blitzel and Zebstrika, we know, are on the DLC anyway. We saw that officially revealed. Drillbur and Excadrill, Timber, Gerda, and Conkeldurr, Suwaddle, Leavanny, and Swadloon obviously on, Cottony and Whimsicott, Scraggy and Scrafty, Minccino and Chinchino, Solosis, Duosion, Riunculus, Ducklet and Swanna, Joltik and Galvantula, Litwick, Lampin and Chandelure, Mienfoo and Mienshao, Golett and Golurk, Vullaby and Mandibuzz. And those are all the Generation 5 Pokemon coming to the Nintendo Switch in the DLC. Next up, we got Gen 6, so Chespin line, the Fennekin line, and the Froakie line. Of course, Froakie already in the game. I'm guessing we might get Chespin or Fennekin raids soon as well, just simply because Generation 6 Pokemon starters are going to be in the home update. We then have Espurr and Meowstic. I think that's already been confirmed anyway. Inkay and Malamar, Carbink, Phantom, Trevenant, Rowlet, and those are all the Gen 6. So yeah, barely any Gen 6 Pokemon coming back. Then Gen 7, we have the Rowlet line already in the game, Litten line, and Poplio line. We then have Trumbeak, Pikipek, Trumbeak, and Toucannon, which of course was another Pokemon that have not been on the Switch yet, but now they are going to be in the DLC. Grubbin, Chargebug, and Vikavolt, Cutiefly, Rabombe, Dewpider, Araquanid, Comfey, Minior, which again is another Pokemon that hadn't been on the Switch yet, Jangmo, Hakamo and Komowo, and those are all the Gen 7 Pokemon. Moving on to Gen 8, the Grookey line, the Scorbunny line, which is already in the game, Sobble line, and then we're also having Cramorant, Milcery, Alcremie, Morpeko, Duraludon, and then those... Oh, no, apparently Minior... No, Minior's Gen 7. Did I go over Minior? Yeah, Minior is in the game, I was going to say. So those are all the Gen 8 Pokemon. And then obviously the Hisuian Pokemon, Weirdeer, Kleavor, Saluna, Basculegion, Sneasler, Overquill, Enamorus, and then Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. So those are all of the returning Pokemon in the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We also have this from Soul Silver saying something going on with Carbink, but also Unova starters, which are not 100% confirmed to return like Carbink is, but if you've been following this, could mean we're getting the starters from every returning Pokemon in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. Not 100% confirmed yet, but check out the thread for details. Again, like I say, it's not 100% confirmed because it was different from the 1.2.0 update. In fact, no Pokemon have been, like, removed. It's just more Pokemon have been added. So... Again, in a future update, we might get small kind of tweaks and stuff. But yeah, as of right now, those are all of the returning Pokemon. So that's everything for today's video. Let me know if you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. Leave a comment. Is your favorite Pokemon returning in the DLC, or has it not been given a pass to Paldea? But yeah, subscribe, ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. That's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.